Sapphire Plus, we finally made it, and it looks like this is what it takes in order to get into that Sapphire Plus. At minimum, you are going to need 6 Emerald Pros. If y'all remember from the Sapphire video when I did the Sapphire freebie from the draft board, it took 2 Emerald Pros, 2 regular Sapphires, and 2 Gold Pros at minimum in order to reach Sapphire tier. Well, we finally made it into Sapphire Tier Plus thanks to the pack opening video from yesterday. If you did not check that out, absolutely amazing. Link for that is in the description. Not only are we going to obviously talk about what it takes in order to get to Sapphire Plus, which obviously all Emerald Pluses or all Emerald Pros. We're going to look at all the pulls that I got along the way, the entire way from being base tier Sapphire. I did keep track of all of my resets. So we're going to kind of look at the pull rates for Gold, for Emerald, for Sapphire at that base tier. How often can you expect in order to get some of these Sapphires? I'm going to do the same thing for Sapphire Plus. So I wanted to, I guess, show you all of my pull rates, what I came up with, see how they maybe align with yours, if you kept track of yours, and maybe what you can expect. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit the sub button for more NBA SuperCard. Before we get into looking at all of my Sapphire pulls, as you see, I did pull 4 of them throughout the entire time that I was Sapphire base tier. I had 149 total resets along the way. Definitely would have been longer if it wasn't for that pack opening video yesterday and the luck that I got in getting those 2 WNBA female Emerald Pros. I would not have been able to get to Sapphire Plus already. I still would have been struggling. I was pulling Emerald Pros, but I was not pulling WNBA Emerald Pros along the way. But yeah, 149 total resets, 128 of them gold, which makes 85.9% of the time. So 85, almost 86% of the time pulled golds. Emeralds, 17 out of the 149, which is 11.4%. So just a little bit better than 1 out of every 10 resets getting an Emerald. Now just think about this, guys. If you're Sapphire base tier, right? Your Sapphire base tier, you have to have all 6 of them Emerald Pros, and 1 out of every 10 resets is an Emerald, and then it has to actually be a Pro itself. So dude, that's a struggle. That is definitely a struggle. And from Emerald, or from Sapphire Plus to Sapphire Plus Plus, is also going to be a struggle, because the only thing better than an Emerald Pro is a Sapphire Pro. So we're going to have to come up with probably, I want to say, at least 4 of them. I want to say you're going to need 4 out of the 6 in order to even make it to Sapphire Plus, but we'll just have to see. And then lastly, we got the Sapphires. Only pulled 4 of them, and technically, actually, I actually pulled 5 of them, but 1 of them was a support card, and I believe, and I do believe this, that support cards do not count as your tier reset. So I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to count it when it came to the pull rates, so I just didn't count it as my tier reset. So 4 out of 149 tier resets, which was 2.7%. Ouch, 2.7%. Y'all will have to let me know if that is, you know, about where you were. A little less than, what, 1 out of 50? 1 out of 50, 1 out of 40. That's not very good. In between, probably around 1 out of 40 or something like that. But that's still, it still takes a while to get a Sapphire, right? Anyway, those are my pull rates for base tier Sapphire. And from this point on, I'm going to do this exact same thing for Sapphire Plus and see how it compares to base tier Sapphire. And I tell you, from past experiences, at least in my NBA 2K, I've been doing this for a long time, years and years and years, probably 3 years, 4 years of keeping track of every single event and pull rates for me. I have noticed that it didn't matter whether or not you were base, plus, or plus plus, or whatever. It made no difference. The pull rates were almost exactly the same. Now that it is SuperCard, you can definitely tell in WWE the difference between base tier and plus plus. Will you be able to tell the difference in NBA SuperCard? We'll just have to see. But now that you know exactly what it takes to get the Sapphire Plus, now that you know the pull rates of being base tier Sapphire, we did have those 4 Sapphire resets. I've had that Jamaica Green down there for the longest time on the longest videos because I did not want to spoil who my resets were. If you caught a couple of the streams, I did leak out a couple of my resets or a couple of my pulls. But yeah, let's take a look at these 4 Sapphire resets. Very first reset in Sapphire tier. This one took me 51 resets to get. My very first one. It did take the longest out of all of them. 51 total resets to get this pull. Mike Conley definitely needs some point guards. Obviously, all of these Sapphires are going to be singles. It's going to take some pretty good luck in order to get a pro this early. From my pack opening yesterday, including all of my pulls, these 4 and the ones that I had previously, I think I have around 10 Sapphires. So maybe now I could get lucky and get a pro in one of my pulls, but I'm still kind of expecting to pull quite a few more singles. Second Sapphire reset, we got a DeAndre Jordan. It's a historic one. I don't think I've leveled this one up yet. I definitely haven't leveled up the ones from yesterday. Actually, by the time you see this video, I'll have them leveled up. But it does say historic on there, so anything that does say historic is from previous years, whether it's the year before this or 2 years ago, 20 years ago, anything that says historic on there. It doesn't necessarily mean the card is better, but it just means that it's from previous years. But yeah, DeAndre Jordan from the Clippers. Third Sapphire reset from being base tier, Amanda Zahui. I do not know how to say her last name, but it's a WNBA pull. And if you saw, I guess, some of my last videos where I would show my deck or, doing gameplay and stuff like that, you probably would have noticed her because she was one of my top 2 WNBA that was in my deck, in my top 8, the one that I used in Quick Game and all of that stuff. So you probably saw her if you saw the past videos and stuff like that already, but that's how I got it. It was my 3rd reset. Another center, which, I kind of need a variety. In past my NBAs, I pulled a lot of big men. This is starting to turn into that. I'm kind of lacking on my point guards. Besides for the Mike Conley, I did pull that one, but I think I only have 2 point guards as far as the gauntlet deck goes. I need some more guards, definitely. And my final pull, best pull to date, NBA SuperCard. That is right, D-Book, Devin Booker, my man from the Phoenix Suns, future MVP. I told y'all that I was going to be able to get the Devin Booker, and we ended up pulling it. Lucky. Definitely lucky. When I saw this thing, I about dropped my phone, jumped up, super excited, really glad that I was able to pull him. Usually with a lot of the cards, at least in the past games, it usually seems to take me forever to get the cards that I want. I seem to only get them like tiers and tiers later. I remember we had like a Devin Booker in God, now I can't even remember the tiers from last year, the red tier. I don't even remember what the red tier was called last year now. I keep thinking Ruby because that's what the red tier is going to be called this year. But either way, it took me about 5 months or 4 months in order to get the Devin Booker from last year. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad I was able to get them. But those are my 4 Sapphire resets from the time that I was base tier. Only 2.7% out of 149. Pretty dang good. Actually, it didn't matter what the other 3 were. The fact that I got Devin Booker makes them absolutely amazing pulls. And as I switch it over to the home screen, it just clicked in my head, Icon tier, and that's what the red tier was called last year. I think it was Icon that he had, or maybe it was Superstar. I honestly, I can't remember which one it was, but I just remember it being a Devin Booker and me never being able to pull it from the draft board, and it took me like months and months later after it came out that I was finally able to get it. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for the video. Sapphire Plus, y'all know what you need to do in order to make it to that Sapphire Plus. At minimum 6 Emerald Pros. If you're lucky enough to get a Sapphire Pro before then, obviously you won't need probably 5 more Emerald Pros. You'd probably only need 4. But yeah, on our way to get better pulls, hopefully more frequent pulls, and hopefully some Sapphire pulls. Get ready for that gauntlet, because we're going to need some. If you plan on getting that event card, you have to have Sapphire Pros. And time's a ticking. Time's getting close to the end. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. I will see y'all again soon. Y'all take it easy. Let me know if my pull rates are close to your pull rates or whatever. But yeah, see y'all next time. I am out. Peace.